You know those landscapes that just, wow, they hit you with this pure sense of awe, the kind you see online and just stop scrolling.
Uh-huh. That's the Dolomites, all right.
Exactly. We're talking northern Italian Alps here. It's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, sculpted into these just incredible vertical walls, sheer cliffs, and these long valleys.
Mm.
Honestly, every view seems better than the last.
It really is spectacular. And what's so interesting is the rock itself, this pale dolomite. It was formed from ancient coral reefs, believe it or not.
Oh, really? Coral reefs.
Yeah. And then shaped by, massive geological forces over millennial landslides, glaciers grinding away. And that's why you get these super dramatic, almost like theatrical peaks you don't see quite anywhere else.
Okay, so if you're listening and thinking, right, I need to see this,
Yeah.
then you're in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're really diving deep. We've sifted through loads of travel ideas, soaked up the vibe of this amazing region, and basically we're putting together what we think is your perfect 4-day Dolomites adventure.
Think of it as a kind of insider's guide, especially for a first visit. We'll cover, the essentials, where to go, what to see, and definitely what delicious things to eat.
Right. Our mission here is basically to give you the inspiration and maybe the confidence to actually book that trip.
And we know you want the key info quickly, but also thoroughly. So we've tried to pull together the best bits, give you a bit of a head start on planning, hopefully spark a few aha moments along the way.
Yeah, equip you with a solid plan so you can make the absolute most of your time there without feeling, overwhelmed.
Exactly.
Okay, let's get into it then. Day 1, arrival. And the plan is to head pretty much straight for the eastern Dolomites. Now, getting there, most guides suggest flying into a nearby airport. Venice or maybe Innsbruck often come up.
Yeah, those are definitely the most common and usually the most efficient entry points. And look, to really explore properly, renting a car is, it's pretty much essential, wouldn't you say?
I'd agree. Gives you that freedom, right?
Totally. Public transport exists, but honestly, navigating those winding mountain roads, reaching some of the trailheads or slightly more hidden spots,
Right.
It's just so much easier with your own wheels.
Right. Cars sorted then. The suggestion is point it east, find a base in a town like Cortina d'Ampezzo. Sounds like a classic alpine town, maybe a good hub.
Cortina's a fantastic choice, yeah. It's quite glamorous, actually, but it's also nestled right amongst some truly iconic peaks. It's a great gateway to a lot of the must-sees in that eastern section.
Okay, so first stop, maybe that afternoon, Lake Misurina. Even the name sounds peaceful.
It is beautiful, a proper alpine lake, ringed by these dramatic mountains reflecting in the water. It's stunning. Apparently, the air there is considered particularly pure, too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, historically, people went there for respiratory health. But even just for a visit, a walk around the lake is lovely. Great views, fresh mountain air. Simple, but perfect.
And then, the big one, the one you see everywhere, Cime di Lavaredo,
Yeah.
the 3 peaks. What's the deal there? Why is it the icon?
Well, it's the sheer scale, I think, and just how unique those 3 towers look, standing there so distinct and massive. They're instantly recognizable.
Right.
And what's great is you don't have to be some hardcore mountaineer to experience them. There are different trails around the base. Even shorter, relatively easy paths offer incredible viewpoints, so everyone can get up close and really feel that grandeur.
Perfect. So, after a day of travel and taking in those views, food. Got to talk food. What should we be looking for on that first evening? What's the local flavor?
Well, you're in for a treat. The region has its own distinct culinary tradition called Latin cuisine.
Latin?
Yeah, from the Latin people who've lived in these valleys for centuries. Think hearty, satisfying mountain food. Lots of local ingredients.
Okay.
If you get the chance, eating at a refugio, one of the mountain huts, is a really authentic experience. But if not, Cortina has plenty of excellent restaurants serving local dishes.
And what kind of dishes are we talking? Specifics.
You'll often see pasta, maybe with game like venison or wild mushrooms from the forest. Lots of polenta, too. And definitely try the local cheeses. They have this really rich flavor, probably from the cows grazing on those high alpine pastures.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, on to day 2. Still based around Cortina, but heading up high for those panoramic views. First suggestion, the Tofane cable car.
Right. This is a brilliant way to get altitude without a massive hike. It's a cable car system that goes up in stages, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so each level gives you progressively wider, more spectacular views of the peaks all around Cortina. It's pretty effortless, really. Just float up and boom, amazing scenery.
And then from up there, the idea is a bit of hiking.
Exactly, but we're suggesting something relatively easy, scenic. Hiking from one of the upper cable car stations lets you walk right amongst those incredible Dolomite rock formations we talked about.
Close up with the geology.
Precisely. You really appreciate why this place is a UNESCO site. When you're right there, seeing the unique shapes of that limestone carved by ice and time, you're literally walking through geological history. It's quite something.
Okay, so after that high-altitude experience, the afternoon of day 2 presents a choice. Option A, visit another lake, the famous Lago di Braies.
Ah, yes, Lake Braies. It's famous for a reason. The watercolor is this incredible emerald green, and it reflects the mountains like a mirror. It's your classic picture postcard lake.
Sounds amazing. Any downsides?
Well, its fame means it gets busy, really busy, especially in peak season. So just be prepared for crowds. Going early morning or late afternoon might be a good strategy to avoid the worst of it.
Good tip. Okay, option B is for the more adventurous listener, Via Ferrata. Need to explain this one a bit.
Right. Via Ferrata means iron path in Italian. These are climbing routes, but they're protected with steel cables fixed to the rock, plus iron rungs, steps, sometimes little bridges.
So not quite rock climbing, but more than hiking.
Exactly. It lets people with decent fitness, but maybe not technical climbing skills, experience really exposed, exciting mountain terrain pretty safely. But, and this is important for a first time, you absolutely need the right gear.
Like helmet, harness.
Definitely helmet, harness, and a special Via Ferrata lanyard with energy absorbers. And honestly, for your first time, hire a guide. Seriously. They'll teach you the technique, ensure you're safe, and pick an appropriate introductory route. It's an incredible experience, but safety first.
Absolutely. Good advice. So, evening of day 2, another chance to explore the local food scene. What's recommended tonight?
Tonight, I'd say you have to try Kanderli.
Kanderli. Okay, what are they?
They're basically bread dumplings, traditional peasant food made with stale bread, milk, often bits of speck that's a local smoked ham or cheese.
And how are they served?
Usually either floating in a really flavorful, clear broth, or sometimes served dry with melted butter and grated cheese. They are so comforting, proper soul food for the mountains.
Sounds perfect after a day out.
And to go with it, definitely explore the local wines. The Alto Adige region, or Südtirol, produces some fantastic wines, really crisp aromatic whites like Gewürztraminer or Pinot Bianco, and some lovely light reds, too. They pair beautifully.
Excellent. Right, day 3. Sounds like a big one.
Yeah.
Driving the Great Dolomites Road.
Oh, yeah, the Grande Strada delle Dolomiti. This is an absolute must-do. It's not just a road, it's an experience. It was engineered specifically to showcase the most stunning parts of the Dolomites.
So it winds through the best bits.
Exactly. Through high passes, around towering peaks, literally every bend seems to reveal another jaw-dropping view. It's the heart of the Dolomites, really.
Okay, first recommended stop along this road, Passo Pordoi. What's the highlight there?
Passo Pordoi is one of the highest passes on the route, and the panoramic views are just immense. You feel like you can see forever across the peaks.
Wow.
And from the pass itself, there's another cable car you can take, going even higher up to Sas Cordoi, the terrace of the Dolomites.
Worth doing.
Oh, absolutely, if you have time. The perspective from up there is even more dramatic. You feel like you're standing on top of the world, looking down on everything.
Incredible. Okay, second stop on the Great Road, Passo Sella. Different views here.
Yeah, slightly different feel, but just as breathtaking. Passo Sella brings you really close to the Sella Group Massive, this huge, fortress-like block of rock. It's incredibly imposing.
Sounds impressive.
It is, and there are lots of little paths leading off from the pass, so it's easy to go for a short walk, get away from the road for a bit, and just soak in that unique landscape. Great photo opportunities, obviously.
Naturally. So, after those passes, we're continuing westwards. The suggestion is to base ourselves in Val Gardena for the night.
Yes, Val Gardena, or Gruden in German. It's a really beautiful valley, very picturesque, famous for its charming villages, Ortis, Selva, Santa Cristina, each with its own character.
And it's known for something else too, isn't it?
Wood carving. It has a really strong tradition of intricate wood carving going back centuries. You'll see shops selling beautiful handcrafted pieces, and the views are dominated by the Sassolungo and Sassopiatto peaks, really distinctive, iconic mountains right there.
Right. And the activity for the afternoon here is Alpi di Susi. This
Yeah.
sounds huge.
It is. Alpi di Susi, or Sizer is actually the largest high-altitude alpine meadow in Europe.
No way. The largest.
Yep. You take a cable car up and you arrive on this vast rolling plateau of green meadows, stretching out as far as you can see with all the jagged Dolomite peaks framing it in the distance.
What kind of hiking is it up there?
It's surprisingly gentle, actually. Because it's a plateau, a lot of the trails are relatively flat or just gently undulating. It makes it really accessible for all sorts of fitness levels. You can just wander for hours, surrounded by wildflowers in summer, and the views are just 360 degrees of stunning. It's like walking in a painting.
Sounds incredible. Okay, end of day 3, last night in the Dolomites on this itinerary. What culinary delight should we seek out in Val Gardena?
Tonight, my pick would be Schlutzkrapfen.
Schlutzkrapfen. Okay, another unique name. What is it?
They're a type of filled pasta, kind of like ravioli, but usually half-moon shaped. The classic filling is spinach and ricotta cheese.
Simple but delicious, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Often served very simply, too. Maybe just with melted butter, poppy seeds, and some Parmesan cheese. It lets the flavor of the filling shine through. And remember, Val Gardena is in South Tyrol, so the food here has that fascinating blend of Italian and Austrian influences we mentioned.
Right, that mix.
Yeah, so look for restaurants serving traditional South Tyrolean or Südtiroler cuisine. You'll find that lovely mixed pasta alongside dumplings, Italian herbs with maybe more Austrian-style meats. It's a really interesting food culture.
Fantastic. And just like that, it's day 4, departure day already. But sounds like we can still squeeze in a final Dolomite experience.
Absolutely. It depends a bit on where you're flying out from, of course. If you're heading back towards Venice, you'll need to allow a decent amount of driving time.
Maybe stop somewhere on the way.
Yeah, perhaps consider a stop in a town like Belluno. It's right at the southern edge of the Dolomites, kind of a gateway town. Gives you a slightly different perspective, a bit more Italian town vibe before you hit the motorway.
Okay. And if the flight is from Innsbruck or somewhere else to the north?
Then you've probably got time for a shorter but still lovely scenic drive on your way out. Maybe that's your chance to pop into one of those wood carving shops in Val Gardena we talked about.
Ah, good idea. Pick up a souvenir.
Exactly. Get a little handcrafted to remember the trip by. Those wood carvings are really special.
And before heading to the airport, one last Italian ritual.
You absolutely have to. A final proper Italian coffee, an espresso, a cappuccino, and maybe a pastry. It's just the perfect send-off.
Any specific pastry we should look out for in this region?
Well, given the Austrian influence, you find really good strudel here. Apple strudel is classic, of course, but you might find other fruit fillings, too. It's a delicious way to end the trip.
Perfect. So as we wrap up this virtual 4-day tour, what's the main thing you hope someone listening takes away?
I think the main thing is that this itinerary, it's really just a suggestion, a framework, a starting point to get you inspired for that first visit.
Right, not set in stone.
Not at all. The real magic of the Dolomites often lies in those unexpected moments. The side valley you decide to explore, the trail you discover by chance, adapting things to your own pace, and whatever catches your eye. We just hope this gives a taste of what's possible and maybe sparks that desire to see it for yourself.
Yeah, hopefully encourages future trips too. It sounds like a place you could return to again and again.
Oh, definitely. You could spend weeks, months exploring and still find new wonders.
So over these 4 days, we've sketched out a journey through some truly breathtaking scenery, those iconic peaks, the charming villages, the vast meadows.
And hopefully highlighted some delicious food along the way.
Absolutely. Can't forget the food. Our aim was really to give you that practical advice. Where to go, what you might want to do, what to eat specifically to make planning that first trip feel exciting, not daunting.
Yeah, covering the big landmarks, but also touching on why the place is so special, like the unique geology, the UNESCO status, the cultural blend, giving you context, not just a list.
And hopefully delivering on that idea of giving you solid knowledge quickly, maybe a few surprising facts thrown in, leaving you feeling energized about the possibility.
Exactly. And now, maybe just a final thought to leave you with. We really hope this gets you dreaming. Start looking at pictures, properly imagine yourself there, breathing that crisp mountain air surrounded by those peaks.
Get the planning started.
Yeah, maybe think about when you'd want to go. We mentioned June could be lovely, with everything greening up before the main summer rush. But other seasons have their own charm, too.
So maybe ask yourself, what's the one view you're now most excited to see with your own eyes?
Instead of Tricime, Lago di Brace.
That view from Alpi di Susi.
Or maybe, which of those dishes are you most eager to try? The Knäderli, the Schlutzkrapfen, that strudel. The Dolomites are waiting. The adventure is there to be had.